Welcome guys to episode ingine moto sana. Kumbuka hii inaitwa Men Hacks. Mimi naitwa Gachin, rapper, content creator. On the last episode tuliongelea about how to know she is toxic. Ni vitu gani unaweza angalia ujue yenyewe udem kuna venye anaenda kukaa toxic. So on this particular episode ya leo nitakwambia ni vitu gani zenye zimemlead up to that point yenye amekuwa toxic. Cause remember, umse probably hakuzaliwa hivyo. Hakuzaliwa akiwa na machungu hivyo, hakuzaliwa akiwa na hiyo personality, but something along the way, either akigrow up ama within her adulthood ama youth stage, kuna place fulani tu alifika place kitu ikamhappenia, and no wonder she ended up to be toxic. So join me tukifanya hii episode, let's go. So one of the things yenye inaweza kumhappenia so that akafika place anapata personality yenye ni toxic ni the fact that amekuwa in a past relationship enye for her it didn't really work out for her and ilimess emotionally, meaning kuna venye probably watali alikuwa na mtreat. So remember I told you about ndio mse afike place anakuwa toxic, it's cause alikuwa place alikuwa in a past something happened to them that made them feel like power yao imetolewa kutoka kwao, you know, the power to decide, the power maybe to choose, the power to, you know, to have a different kind of thinking. So hiyo iliondolewa kwao. So a past relationship could do that to somebody. Ana feel manze nilikuwa nimefinyiliwa sana na anajua by the next time naingia relationship ingine mimi ndio naenda ku call shots. Unaona? Not knowing that probably they are spoiling the next big thing that they would have, which is a, you know, a relationship. Maybe wanna spoil the next relationship even bila wao ku realize, we get. So a past relationship is definitely one of the things that inaweza drive them kukua a bit toxic. So by the time mnaenda kupatana naye na ametoka in a past relationship yenye haikuwa that good, kuna venye utafeel by the way there's a way akona personality trait ya mse toxic. Also the other thing that inaweza drive also dem kukua toxic ni the fact that probably kuna kitu alifanya in her past that hunt hadi wa leo ama ako guilty of hadi wa leo, and one of those things inaweza kuwa abortion. So being that kitu kaa hiyo kuna venye, you know, inakaming na some sort of like damage to the person who has done it, kuna venye that person can develop a kind of toxic personality just because alifanya in the past, you know. And the reason for this is because she feels guilty of what she did ama hiyo kitu inamkumbushanga, and so by the mere fact that alifanya hiyo stuff, probably to her it she may start to think that manze hako of value, anaanza kujiona ni kama probably dem mwenye alikuwa, you know, anajivalue kitambo, ana feel hiyo kitu ilimuaffect in some way, so anaweza develop toxic personality just because she's guilty of something that she did in the past. Unaona, probably aliwahi hurt, you know, probably kuna kitu aliwahi fanya that it ended up hurting somebody else and they are guilty of that, and so just to cover up for it they, you know, wanna make sure that they are the dominant partner in every relationship wanaingia. Yani ana call shots, yani anasema venye kutenda, you get. So just to suppress you emotionally and just to suppress your power and as a guy, especially mkiwa kwa relationship na dem kao huyo. So one of the other thing inaweza fanya dem akue toxic also ni either she's gone through rape, she's ever been raped before, ama ashaikuwa sexually assaulted in some way, molested in some way. And the reason for this is again, kumbuka in vitu kama acts kama rape, kuna venye the power is taken away from the lady, you get, because now this is something that she's been forced ama is something that is been forced on her. So kumbuka like kuna venye once mse ametolewa power yake ana feel like amekuwa in that position yenye amekuwa suppressed down, what will happen ama what will end up happening if that person is not careful ama doesn't get like the help they need, kuna venye ataanza ku develop toxic personality. Because think of it like this, one day ama siku moja yeye alikuwa amefinyiliwa hivi down, and so they get an opportunity to come on top, and then so for them wanajua hii life ni about, you know, suppress mtu chini just because probably a bad thing happened to them, na one of those things being, you know, obviously rape na being molested as they grew up ama ata even at a teen age ama ata youthful age, you know. So the other thing yenye inaweza fanya dem akuwe na toxic personality ni the fact that anachukia wanaume, you know. Aligrow up probably akihatiwa na mwanaume in one way or the other, na mwanaume inaweza kuwa pia budake, inaweza kuwa mabro wake, inaweza kuwa walisoma naye, walimistreat, and so anagrow your personality enye anaenda kuhate wanaume, you get. So a lady who hates men, kuna venye anaweza enda kuwa na toxic personality, meaning ni wale wasi wenye unasikianga wakisema mi mwanaume ziniambia kitu. So that kind of an attitude, once amecome into a relationship probably na wewe umeanza kucourt nini, you will see it reflect na venye mna associate pamoja, unaona, cause every other time ana feel wewe ufai kuwa, haku recognize that wewe unafaa kuwa probably the head na yeye kwa the neck, as they say, but there's just a way that like ku recognize hezi kupe hiyo ka respect fulani, you get. So it ends up manifesting as a toxic personality. And remember guys, at first unaweza kusata kunotice, because at first they'll try, kwanza anaingia na kusoma, anakuunderstand, anaona probably how you think, so that ajue ile point enye ata suppress on you, unaona, ajue ile point sasa yenye ataweza overturn the tables, na ikuwe sasa ni ana run shots ama ni ana call the shots, na get. So ideally if it's somebody who hates men either naturally ama kitu iliwa hapenia, they won't be, they will definitely have that toxic personality in them. Also on this other point is that aligrow up akichukia budake, probably budake alikuwa na mtusi, budake probably hata anaweza kwa hako mchapa, but kuna venye tu alikuwa na mtreat, there's a way like you treat like a girl akigrow up, like boys unaweza mharden, unaweza muonesha, they can cope with that, but for a lady kuna venye once like her feel your love from budake, that genuine love from budake, kama budake ana express ni kama kuna venye kuna venye hampendi as much nini, anaweza grow kukua, na hiyo like either I don't want to call it hate, but anaweza grow na hiyo feelings fulani zenye ana feel like say he didn't play the role, ama aligrow up akiona budake akichapa madhake, so it changed her personality ama her relation to venye anaonanga like venye anaonanga men, you get. So anaona men as these violent people, so the perspective ama the perception that her father like showed her, even without knowingly ama unknowingly, akimuonesha venye aligrow up ama akimuonesha like so tukigrow up kila mtu alikuwa anaangalia budake, alikuwa anaangalia madhake venye wana behave, and that is what told us how to behave in the society bila hata kuambiwa. So if she grew up seeing probably budake akiwa harsh on her mother ama hata harsh on her mwenyewe, anaamka na mtusi, anaamka na mwambie vitu zingine, there are some words ama kuna vitu zingine za insults Charlie anaweza take na isikuwe ni big deal, but ukiambia dem, even especially if you are the father of that girl, umwambie at a young age, kuna venye hiyo kitu itamhurt extremely, uniget. So hizo ni vitu anaweza beba, anaweza carry on na yeye na zimu affect in the future. And one of those things inaweza affect in the future ni ku develop a toxic personality. The other thing also could be alidevelop your personality ya toxicity ama toxic personality just because ni mse ameachieve in life, you get. Kuna venye akona ka standard in life, surpass probably expectations za wazazi wake, za everyone who looked down upon her, and then amefika place flani yenye ana feel like sasa nyinyi like just because you didn't believe in me and now I am here, it does goes to show that miss your standard and including the men, especially if the men had a negative impact grow up ama akianza tu kujijua, so they start seeing when always niambia kitu, we are not on the same level, I'm above your standard, so anaanza ku develop your toxic personality even with her consciously knowing that, so at the end of the day, toxicity sometimes ni about dominance, anataka ku dominate, and there's no way anaangalia anaona kuna this many successes ama this many wins in her life na bado wa feel ni kama uko standard moja. So ana feel hakuna mwanaume anaweza kama kuniambia kitu, you get. Nimefika hapa, I'm self made, probably any CEO wa kampuni fulani, ana feel amefika the highest levels probably of her career, do ako nayo, so hakuna kitu unakam kumwambia kacha, you get. So just because of that standard anaanza ku develop your toxic personality yenye ana feel I can't submit to any man. The other thing could be immature to immaturity, because just getting to a point where you feel like me I know everything, you can't tell me anything, just disregarding anyone's opinion, especially the men, and na hata akiingia dating that will be the same, because ana feel aware hakuna kitu naweza niambia, I've achieved nini, so that naivety of knowing that you can't tell me anything, blah blah blah, you get. Probably aligrow up here akipendekezwa akaambiwa we ni independent lady, you should stand on your own. There's nothing wrong with that, but the extreme of that is that ana develop your toxic personality that ayezi, like we kawe ni chali, you don't mean anything to to her, hakuna venye unaweza move in any way, you get. So, and even on my last point, what I'll say is probably she was lied to. She didn't grow up knowing the role of what a guy is to her life, get. So even in relationship, nobody really explained it to her. Anajuaga tu me, like any man shouldn't tell you anything. Probably ondo the kind of mindset aliset you at a very young age, anaambiwa no guy should tell you anything nini. And I'm all for for independence, but kuna hiyo extreme and unaambiwa how you disregard men nini, you get. So ideally mwenye alimshape perception about how probably men should treat women, probably alimdanganya kidogo, ama like didn't tell them the whole truth. Probably amwambia no man, especially probably growing up with under a household wenye hakuna a man, and then it's a single mom. So maybe single mom alianza kumwambia you shouldn't trust any man nini. So unaona, just because the mom told her that, alianza ku create a perspective flani about men. So yeye aligrow up akiambiwa wewe ufai kuitikia chali yoyote akwe juu yako nini. And because of that, just learning that from a young age, anaanza ku develop a toxic personality kenye haizi sikiza mwanaume, So it really gets hard when you get into a relationship na mtu kaa huyo, because already kuna vitu unless aanze ku unlearn, hiyo ndo attitude anakam now hata kwa relationship. So that marks the end of that episode. Join me on the next episode. Next episode nitakwambia why do men date, you get. So we'll be talking about the reasons why men date, what are the different reasons zinafanyanga chalia date, you get. So join me on that episode. Make sure that you share this with somebody who really needs to hear about this information. Probably ndio aweze kufigure out, probably ule manzi wako na yeye akae chini akijua, and even for a lady ajue at least, ajue probably maybe just to re-examine herself, ajue kwa nini nimekuwa toxic nini. So see you on the next episode, and kama kawaida, thanks.